Hey everybody, welcome back to Simple Living Happy Home. I am here to do a product review of something that I have been looking forward to for some time. It's the Sonlight Fiction, Fairy Tales, and Fun curriculum. This is for the 3 to 4s. For those of you who saw a previous video of mine, I mentioned that we were going to be going, my husband and I were going to be going to a homeschool convention. And we did end up going, and they had a Sonlight booth there. And so I got to actually get my hands on the on this particular curriculum, and they had all the books and they had the manipulatives and everything. So we did end up ordering the curriculum at the homeschool convention because there was an extra discount if we ordered it during the convention. We got our box a couple days ago and I got everything pulled out. The instructor's guide did not come in the binder. It just came loose leafed. It was already 3-hole punched, but it did not come in the binder. I got this binder separately from Dollar General for like $2.50. Sonlight recommended that you get the 1.5-inch binder size. I went with the 1-inch because I don't like having a binder that's way bigger than what I need. So this one fits really kind of perfectly. 3-hole punched already, so I just put that first page in the slipcover there, and then I put the back page, so literally it's like a book. So we'll go through this in a little bit more detail. One of the other things that I got that is not actually included in the purchase of the curriculum are the stickers. These were an additional like $3 or $4. So they weren't really expensive, but the idea is that you can then take these stickers and put them onto each of the books for the curriculum. So that way, you know, if you're going to be using this curriculum with a few kids in a row, you can just kind of keep all of the curriculum books together so you don't have to rebuy the curriculum. You can purchase just the instructor guide from Sonlight. So if you've written all over the instructor guide, and I'll show you, there's places you can make notes and stuff. But if you've done that, then you just need to buy the instructor guide rather than the entire curriculum. You guys, what else is in this curriculum? This is the box that has all the manipulatives. So this is the supplies kit, and it comes with everything. So these are the number cards, and they have the little red circles on here to correspond to the number. And they also include, they're in here somewhere, these little counting tokens. So then your kiddos can take a counting token and put it on the number card to correspond. So there's those, and then they can use the counting tokens for a bunch of other things. There is a set of really nice quality colored pencils. There is a plastic knife. So this is going to be used for more of those like daily life skills of like being able to cut some of their own fruits like bananas and that sort of stuff. We have a pair of safety scissors. We didn't need these. We have a bunch of safety scissors for our daughter, but you know, never hurts to have extras. Then we have these these are the sensory number cards. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but the numbers are actually like sandpaper. So it provides a little extra sensory for kiddos to be able to follow the outline of the numbers. And then it's got the number on the back. So that goes 0 to 10. And then we have the same thing just for letters. These are lowercase letters. There is no capitals. Sonlight follows a lot of like the Montessori type thinking where it's more life skills, and Sonlight really is geared towards like a Montessori type of setting where it's a lot of reading, it's a ton of life skills, a ton of just play learning, all that sort of stuff. With their own little kiddo size clipboard. This thing is so cute. It's like a miniature. It's adorable. And then in this box, we have our geometric shapes. There we go. So these are the inserts that these shapes go into. And these are actually pretty decent size. So that's the pentagon. And I don't have small hands, so this is a pretty good size. And it has the knob on the back side for little hands to be able to pick up fairly easily. There are, I'm not going to pull everything out because it's kind of a bugger to get back into the box. It is literature heavy. So they focus, the actual like learning things come from just reading stories. Sonlight is a Christian-based curriculum. So as part of the curriculum, they do include daily Bible readings. The 3 to 4 schedule that they include is only 3 days a week. is all the actual books that comes in the curriculum. That's a lot of books. So now we're going to kind of take a look at the actual instructor's guide. Like I said, it sets it up for the preschool curriculum as a 3-day-a-week program. So that way you can, if you don't get everything done one day, you can split it up between a couple days, or you can skip a day and still have some time and still stay on schedule if that's kind of an important thing for you. So instructor's guide for the preschool ages 3 to 4. And this is just kind of listing out how all the different components of the curriculum. So Bible, letters, shapes and numbers, read alouds, practical life, and art. And so the first couple pages are just kind of the introduction. There's the different categories of things. It lists a bunch of different books and what week that those books will start in. So like for science, the Usborne Look Inside Your Body doesn't even start until week 29. So the first few pages here are just kind of talking about like, what does it look like? What are the expectations that they have for you, as well as what are the expectations that they have for your child with going through this curriculum. So the biggest things, I mean, the goals for your child are simple. We want your children to fall in love with books and to have some books that they request again and again. We want your children to enjoy being with you. So the biggest thing is just developing a love of reading and a love of learning. And they talk about, making sure that you're talking to your children, using, your normal conversation that you would have, along with, so if you purchase a full curriculum, you will also get access to their homeschooling group. They have an app, and then they have homeschooling groups, and they will set you up with a mentor. They also talk about tips for an organized home, because if you don't have an organized home, it's hard to have an organized homeschool, and it's hard to have a nice organized environment for kids to learn in. Section 2 is the schedule and the notes. So here we go. Here is our schedule. So this is for week 1. I did go through and start putting some dates in already. We're not planning on starting the actual curriculum until September, after we come back from vacation. So again, we've got the Bible, we've got letters, shapes, and numbers, we've got read alouds, practical life and art, and music and Spanish as the categories here. And then here is our week 1, day 1, day 2, day 3. And so like I said, if there's a book that has multiple stories in it, they will tell you what pages. So day 1 from the Family Time Bible, you're going to read God Makes a Beautiful World, pages 2 to 5. And that's all you have to read in that book for that day. For the HarperCollins Treasury of Picture Book Classics, you're going to read Goodnight Moon, page 17. From Mother Goose, you're going to read pages 14 to 16. And it just breaks it down really nicely. Now, this is the overview of the schedule. This is what a week looks like. But the next pages break that down into each day for each topic. So the Family Time Bible, here is the recommendations and the instructions for day 1, day 2, well, actually day 2 is this whole section here, and then day 3 is over here. And then Sound of the Week, so you can read through that. So the suggestion with this, and what I'm going to be doing, is I'm actually going to be reading through each week before it actually happens, so that way, like through some of these other things like Sound of the Week, sensory letters, that sort of stuff, I will already have read through this and have a good idea of what we're going to be doing. So we're still in week 1. So it's talking about pincer grip for pencil. And then here's the actual day 1, day 2, and day 3 instructions for the activities. We've got our geometric shapes, and it walks you through all of that. So, it is 10 of them. Okay. So those are all the shapes that you get and all the inserts that came in that box. This one is, it's got that little thing up there that says day all. So this you can do through these things, you can do at any point throughout the week with these activities. Number of the week. So using those number cards and the counters. And kind of gives you all of the instructions. And then we have day 1, day 2, and day 3. Then we have the instructions for the HarperCollins Treasury Picture Book Classics, and then day 1, and then it gives an optional activity of things that you can do that could kind of relate back to the book. And this I think we will do, is cook and enjoy cream of mushroom soup or cream of wheat. I think we're going to do the cream of wheat. I actually really like cream of wheat. But if anybody's read Goodnight Moon, there's a part of the book that says Goodnight Mush, I believe. So you can use cream of wheat to kind of simulate the mush from the book. Day 2 is here, and the optional activity to play dress up. And day 3, Harold and the Purple Crayon. And optional activity is to spend some time coloring. They have a section right at the beginning somewhere, I can't remember where, but basically saying if you do have any suggestions, this is how to contact us with those suggestions. There we go, corrections and suggestions. We've got the practical life and art, a section for practical life tasks, a section for art, and then we've got day 1, and then it does go through the instructions of what you're going to do for that practical life skill. So basically setting them up with a sponge, plastic bowl, a cup, and some dish soap to be able to wash some of their own silverware. And then day 3, we've got freehand drawing. So after you read Harold and the Purple Crayon, you might do some freehand drawing. My First Spanish Word Book, you're going to do the section all about me. Music section, suggested song for the week. And I do really appreciate this. You can find the songs for free on the internet by searching the title and the suggested music group or artist. So that way you aren't having to buy anything. And then it specifically shows or tells you, like, search the internet for the song He's Got the Whole World in His Hands song by Maker Fun Factory. Some additional subjects. Okay. All sorts of cool stuff. And then they do have these alphabet sound sheets. So again, Sonlight focuses on a Montessori style of teaching life skills, but then also when it comes to actually learning, literacy, they focus on learning lowercase before capitals, because when a child is reading, they're going to see lowercase letters far more often than they'll see uppercase. And focusing on the letter sound, not the name, because the sound is actually what is going to help them learn how to read. They teach the alphabet sounds out of order, because if you think about it, it doesn't really matter if your child knows the order of the alphabet, because very rarely are letters actually in alphabetical order, and they're never in alphabetical order when you're actually reading a story, because letters have to get mixed up and combined with other letters in, different arrangements in order to actually create words. So it's more important that they learn the sounds, and they do change the order of the letters, so that way they are learning kind of the letters that are easier to kind of pick up on. So k is usually a pretty easy sound for kids to make. All right, so that was week 1. And here we've got week 2. It's going to be very similar, breaks everything down about the same way. It's a 3-day schedule, but you'll notice that on each of the schedule breakdowns, it will list the days as the day in the curriculum, not the day of each week. So this is week 2, so this is day 4, 5, and 6. And if we go ahead, week 7, now we've got day 19, 20, and 21, because these are the next 3 days in the whole curriculum. So it's got space for you to date at the top. It shows you what week, kind of in the big grand scheme of things. This is a 30-week program. And then you can make notes here on the schedule itself. If you're using this with a couple kiddos, you can put their initials, a check mark in their initials, so that you can keep track of, which kids have completed which tasks. Writing practice, some cutting practice. So you as the parent would kind of cut these out, and then they would then try to cut along the gray lines here. It does have a certificate of completion at the end. So you can kind of give that to your kiddo as a memento of their accomplishment. And then this is just kind of an overview breakdown of what happens during each week, the letter and sound that is going to be addressed, the shape, and the number. If you have more interest in kind of getting it into your hands yourself, if you go onto Sonlight's website, you can actually request a week or two, I think, of one of the curriculums of the instructor guide. So you can actually get a PDF of that and print it off so you can get it in your hands and kind of see what it really looks like, or at least look at on your computer. I can't say whether or not this curriculum is working well, because we haven't actually gotten into it. We're not going to be doing that until, like I said, in September. And I'm really liking the layout of the schedule, because if she's going to go spend a week with Grandma and Grandpa, I can just look at what's coming up that week for her homeschool stuff and send either those pages or the instructor's guide and the corresponding books and manipulatives with my mother-in-law and say, here you go, here's how you use the schedule, read the instructions, and you're good to go. I am so happy with the books. I am so happy with the manipulatives. Everything is a really nice quality. It seems very sturdy, and I've been really happy with the communication with Sonlight and their follow through on things and their recommendations and all that sort of stuff. Thanks so much for hanging with me through that. I hope if you are considering using Sonlight for your homeschooling, or you are just looking at options for homeschooling, I hope this was maybe helpful in kind of making that decision for you. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.